everyone to today's webinar. Today we will be talking about opportunities for landlords and developers in the Inflation Reduction Act. So a bit about how this webinar will run. We'll start with introductions, then get into the content of the webinar, discussing the opportunities for landlords and small developers in the IRA, followed by a brief Q&A and some action items that we hope you will engage in. So I'm Tamara Marcus. My pronouns are they, she. I'm the co-owner of Empowered Solutions Collective, which is a Cedar Rapids-based small business dedicated to helping nonprofits, local governments, and other small businesses do sustainability work. This webinar is being sponsored by Linn Clean Energy District, which is a nonprofit that is committed to accelerating a just and equitable transition to clean energy in Linn County. And that is run by John Zakrasik. So what is the Inflation Reduction Act? The IRA, or Inflation Reduction Act, is historical federal legislation that's aimed at fighting inflation. And it's doing that through lowering energy costs, increasing cleaner energy production, and also attempting to reduce carbon emissions by about 40% by the year 2030. There are other parts of the IRA that encompass other spheres such as healthcare, but today we will be focusing on energy efficiency rebates and tax credits and their benefits for rental properties. Just a note, if you are pursuing any of the rebates and tax credits we'll be discussing today, we definitely recommend that you meet with a tax professional to ensure that you get the savings that you are anticipating for your rental portfolio. So some benefits that landlords can receive from making energy efficiency upgrades include attracting more tenants, because tenants obviously want a comfortable and healthy living environment, and energy efficiency upgrades help achieve that goal. Additionally, it also lowers monthly utility bills. Energy efficiency upgrades lower monthly utility bills. So that is also a way to advertise those savings within your listings and again, attract tenants. It also increases the value of the property. And it also helps with the durability of the buildings and the units as well. In addition, it helps improve indoor air quality, which thinking about the effects of some of the forest fires this last summer, that was definitely something that folks were thinking of, is how to improve that indoor air quality. And certainly with the effects of climate change, we anticipate that that will be something that people will continue to think about in the years going forward. And just a note, the tax credits are based on a per unit basis. And so landlords with fewer units are likely to receive and realize more benefits through these tax credits. So some of the tax credits and rebates and incentives that you may be eligible and ones we'll discuss in this webinar today are listed on the screen here. So you can see there's quite a lot of opportunities available for landlords and property developers within the Inflation Reduction Act. So just a note to define some terms. So energy efficiency versus renewable energy. What's the difference? So energy efficiency is really referring to the goal of using less energy to achieve the same results through optimizing processes, improved technologies, or changed behaviors. Some examples of energy efficiency include energy efficient appliance, such as Star appliances, if you're familiar with that, improved insulation, so insulation with a higher R value that helps kind of trap in that heat in colder weather, for example, or also transitioning to things like LED lighting. Renewable energy refers to energy that's derived from naturally replenishing resources, so things like solar, wind, and geothermal. Of course, energy efficiency and renewable energy are both vital for sustainability, combating climate change, and of course, saving money. So two energy efficiency credits that would be good ones to talk with your tenants about. One of them is the Energy Efficiency Home Improvement Tax Credit. So this is available to tenants using the home as their principal residence. It offers 30% on energy efficiency home improvements, such as insulation, air sealing, installation of energy efficient doors and windows, There's a maximum credit of $1,200 for each year for central air conditioners, water heaters, furnaces, boilers, heat pumps, doors, and windows, as well as energy audits. Energy audits are a great way to identify and pinpoint which energy efficiency upgrades will realize the greatest cost savings to your unit. Additionally, it covers $2,000 per year for qualified heat pumps, biomass stoves, and biomass boilers. And this is a non-refundable credit, so you can't get back more on the credit than what you owe in taxes. So again, this is a credit that would be something to make your tenants aware of, because this will not only save them money as they're renting that property, but then also again improve the asset and the unit itself long-term for future tenants. The residential clean energy credit is another great credit to talk to your tenants about. Again, this is one that's available to tenants using the home as their principal residence. It provides 30% of the cost of new qualified wind, solar, geothermal, thermal fuel cells, and battery storage for a home residents installed anytime from the years 2022 through 2032. Again, this is a non-refundable credit, so you can't receive more than what you owe in taxes, but you can claim this whether you rent or own the unit. So this again is a great one to talk to your tenants about, especially if you have tenants that are planning on staying long-term. Again, this is another great way for them to realize the cost savings as they're renting that unit, and for you to increase the value of that property as well. Here's a nifty chart that breaks down some of those tax credits depending on equipment type. These slides will be available on the Linn Clean Energy District website. So definitely reference this and refer to these slides as you explore what energy efficiency pathways make sense for your rental properties. Another tax credit that may be applicable to your rental properties is the renewable energy investment tax credit for businesses. So this is another 30% investment tax credit for renewable energy, such as solar, wind, small wind, geothermal, fuel cells, microturbine, combined heat and power, waste energy recovery, energy storage technology, and biogas. So quite a bit. And after the beginning of 2025, this tax credit will be the 30% technology neutral investment tax credit, with an emissions-based investment tax credit that is neutral and flexible between clean energy technologies. Additionally, there's these great bonus eligibility percentages as well, depending on where the project is located. So for example, you can see that there's a 10% bonus for projects located in energy communities. So these are typically defined as brownfield sites or fossil fuel communities. And there are several of those locations within the city of Cedar Rapids. There's also a 10% bonus for meeting domestic manufacturing requirements for the steel, iron, or manufactured components that are going into that renewable energy project. And then there's also a 10% bonus for projects located in low-income communities, and a 20% bonus for projects that are located in low-income residential buildings or part of a low-income economic benefit projects. So you can stack these tax credits, and you can imagine and see here how the stacking of these tax credits actually make projects like this even more feasible for rental properties. Again, these nifty charts help to kind of break down what you stand to benefit, or how you stand to benefit based on your project type. So there are different criteria and percentages based on the size of the project that you may put onto your properties. So for example, you can see the percentages of tax credits for batteries and commercial solar that is less than 1 megawatt. And then also greater than 1 megawatt. And again, you can see here in this chart how these additional eligibility tax credits can combine into the project total. So that's the investment tax credit. And so instead of the investment tax credit, you can also pursue what's known as the production tax credit, the PTC. And so you can choose one or the other of these. One is based on just the initial project size, and then one is based on the production of that project. And you can see how that breaks down again in these tables based off of the kilowatt hour, cent by kilowatt hour for each project size. And again, this is broken down between projects that are less than 1 megawatt and also projects that are greater than 1 megawatt. And just a note, the PTC is adjusted for inflation each year by the IRS, and this production tax credit will be available for the years of 2023 through 2035. So each year that that system is producing, that is you will receive tax credits for the production of that energy from the systems that are installed. A little bit more information on this slide too about the low-income communities renewable energy bonus tax credit. So again, that 10 percentage point increase for facilities installed in low-income communities, 20 percentage point increase for facilities that are part of a qualified low-income residential building. And if you are interested in pursuing this tax credit, we definitely recommend that you visit this website to learn more about how you can make these projects work within your portfolio. So there are also some electric home rebate programs that are being administered through the state. One of those programs is the home electrification and appliance rebates, or the HERA program. You might also hear it referred to as. This program is income-based, and so there is a cap of households that are above 150% area median income, or AMI. And so individuals or entities that own multifamily buildings with low to moderate income households comprising at least 50% of the residents are eligible for this tax credit. And then in buildings with at least one federally subsidized unit, landlords can apply for even more benefits through this program. And the landlords can apply for funding for affordable housing energy retrofits like heat pumps, heat pump water heaters, rewiring, and electrical panels, which will make it easier for residents to install electric appliances. And again, the owners of an income qualified multifamily building can access rebates on some of the units within a building or all of the eligible households within that building. Let's see. So under the HERA program, or the Home Efficiency Rebates Program, and the Home Electrification Appliance Program, the owner of renter occupied buildings, including both single and multifamily buildings, can apply for these rebates. Depending on that program, owners may apply for rebates across their portfolio or in an aggregated manner. So these two programs, the Homes and the HERA program, I'll talk more about the Homes program in the next couple of slides, but these two programs are being administered by the Iowa Economic Development Authority, or IEDA. And there's about 60 million within each of these two programs for a combined total of 120 million across the two programs. The state plans to initiate these programs sometime between mid to late of this year, 2024. So I mentioned the homes program as well. So again, 60 million in this program administered by the state. This program is not income capped. So the HERA program, it's for low to moderate income households. So below 80% AMI or 80 to 150% AMI, but it's capped at that 150% AMI amount. The homes program has no income cap. So a property is eligible for about $2,000 per unit if it achieves 20% energy savings, and $4,000 if it achieves 35% energy savings. So this program is dependent on the energy savings of the project. And those incentives are doubled for low to moderate income buildings. So again, a program that has no income cap. However, if you are in a low to moderate income building, you are able to double those the rebate that you're receiving through these programs. So if 50% of the rental units are occupied by low to moderate income households, you're able to do that. And again, a low to moderate income is defined, low is defined as below 80% AMI, and then moderate is 80 to 150% AMI. This nifty chart also helps capture and explain a lot of that information in a fairly concise way. So again, these top two rows connect to the homes program, the home efficiency program. And again, you can see based off of where the household falls below 80% AMI or above 80% AMI, how you stand to benefit from these programs. So another great tool, another great table to reference if you choose to pursue these projects. Additionally, there is the HUD's Green Resilient and Retrofit Program. And so this provides owners of Section 8 multifamily properties and HUD assisted housing the direct funding to improve energy, water efficiency, air quality, and more. There's also additional funding, grants and loans for retrofits that increase properties' resiliency to natural hazards and new and innovative green strategies. There are 3 categories within this program: elements, leading edge, and comprehensive. The elements cohort provides up to 40,000 per unit or 750,000 per property to pay for improvements such as HVAC, heat pumps, Energy Star windows, fire-resistant roofs, and clean energy generation systems. And this cohort is really designed for projects that are already close to recapitalization and would benefit from targeted improvements. The deadline is coming up very quickly for this program at the end of this month on March 28th. The leading edge cohort provides funding up to 60,000 per unit or 10 million per property and is aimed at funding ambitious retrofits, allowing a property to achieve an advanced green certification such as LEED certification. The deadline for that is April 30th. And then the last program under the GRRP is the comprehensive cohort, and this provides funding of up to 80,000 per unit or 20 million per property. And this is for the properties with the highest need for climate resiliency and utility efficiency upgrades. Properties well suited for this cohort do not need to have developed a plan for recapitalization and might even benefit from the early stage planning and oversight offered through this program. The deadline for that is May 30th. There are some incentives for new builds as well within the Inflation Reduction Act. Of course, it's easier to build new construction up to a higher standard than it is to retrofit older buildings. And so the new energy efficient home credit, 45L, helps to do that. The new multifamily units have a base credit of at least $500 and up to $5,000 for units that participate in the Energy Star program. So it really is going to depend on the level of upgrades or the level of energy efficiency these new units are built to determine what credit you're able to receive through this program. So for example, single family and manufactured homes can collect up to $2,500 for meeting Energy Star program requirements and $5,000 for meeting the DOE Zero Energy Ready Home criteria. Multifamily homes can collect $500 per Energy Star compliant unit and $1,000 per Zero Energy Ready Home compliant unit. And then the credits on multifamily homes increase to $2,500 and $5,000 respectively if they satisfy prevailing wage requirements as well. And these credits can be claimed the year that the units are leased or sold. So again, these tax incentives can be stacked, which is very exciting. So for example, this is an example pulled from the US Department of Treasury. If a building owner builds a 150 kilowatt solar array that will generate 80% of the building's electricity, 30% of that project's cost might be covered under the investment tax credit. If the energy property or facility is eligible for the low-income communities bonus credit program, the property owner may apply for that bonus. And if the energy property or facility is located in a low-income community, it may receive a 10 percentage point bonus credit amount. And if the energy property or facility is part of a qualified low-income residential building project, it may receive a 20% point bonus credit amount as well. So again, it's really exciting, the ability to stack these tax credits and make these projects more feasible for landlords and small scale developers. So next steps, some of these programs, such as the Homes and Hera program, have not yet launched. And again, those will likely launch mid to late of this year of 2024. So please sign up if you are interested in participating in these programs at the IEDA's website. That link is included in the slides right here, and that will help you stay up to date for and get notified when those programs are launched. And don't forget to sign up for those updates on IEDA's website. These slides and the recordings will be available at the Linn Clean Energy District website at linncleanenergydistrict.org. And if you have any questions about the information in these slides or other questions tied to the subject matter, feel free to reach out to me at tamara@empoweredsolutionscollective.com. And then one call to action, one request that we have from folks viewing this is to help us increase energy efficiency within the affordable housing projects that are being built in the state of Iowa. So you might be familiar, you might not be familiar with the Iowa Finance Authority's Qualified Allocation Plan, QAP. This is the blueprint that developers use to really leverage and receive tax credits from the Iowa Finance Authority to build affordable housing units. We have a goal, the studies have a goal of providing some revisions and recommendations on how to increase energy efficiency scoring within this process. You can see some of those recommendations on this slide here. For example, provide scoring incentives for green building certifications to improve affordability, mandate electrification-ready designs for new construction projects, create incentives for on-site community solar and renewables. So things that allow these affordable housing units to be affordable long-term to the people who are living there and renting units here. So our ask of you is to please sign on to this letter using this nifty QR code here. Please sign on to this letter and let the Iowa Finance Authority know that you also believe that energy efficiency is something that everyone should benefit from. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you learned something that will help you not only save money, but improve the energy efficiency of your rental properties. Thanks so much. Oh.